As an accountant, I'm often asked, Natalie, should I pay cash for a car in my business or should I finance it? And it really comes down to a couple of factors: cash flow, tax implications, opportunity cost, and finance rates. And obviously personal preference as well. So let's go through some of the pros and cons. So paying cash, pros: no interest repayments on the car. You own the car straight away. You have better negotiating power because sellers like cash. They don't have to deal with, organizing the finance or the finance companies. They just take your cash and they give you the car. Some of the cons are the cash flow impact. So taking all that money out of your business as a lump sum can have a bit of a impact in terms of your cash flow. But also it ties up capital that could have been utilized elsewhere. Loss of potential tax benefits. So interest on a car loan is tax deductible, although I always say never do something just for the tax benefit, because for every dollar you spend, you're only getting back a percentage of that depending on your tax rate. So if you're a company, the tax rate's 25%. So you're getting back 25 cents in the dollar, on your interest deduction. If you're an individual, let's say you're at one of the top marginal tax brackets, you would get up to 47 cents in the dollar, but usually it's normally around maybe 30%, 30 cents in the dollar. And also limited leverage. So if interest rates are low, then it might be better to borrow. Now, if you could get an interest-free loan, for example, why wouldn't you borrow instead of using the cash? That would be an absolute no-brainer. Financing the car, pros. So obviously cash flow. You can keep that lump sum in your bank account, and when you finance it, you're just paying it, in installments. Potential tax benefits. So like I said before, which was a con of paying it upfront, this will be a pro of financing, and that you can claim the interest as a tax deduction in your tax return. So cons, so interest. So you're paying more for the car if you finance it because the interest and fees are going to get added onto it. So you're paying a little bit more, maybe a lot more, depending on the interest rates. Monthly obligations. So making sure you have the money set aside each month or week, whatever your repayments are, to make those repayments. Loan approval process. So depending on whether you're a new business, how complicated your business structure is, and who you're borrowing through, it might be a bit of a complicated process. It might be a little bit stressful. So in summary, what's the best option? If you have excess cash and no other use for it, and it's not going to impact your cash flow, then you might want to use cash. On the other hand, if your business benefits from having a lot of cash in the bank, if you need a lot of working capital, then finance. If financing rates are low, you might want to finance. And it also depends on your personal preference, how much you like debt, what your debt preference is. So my recommendation usually to clients, if you've got the cash there, potentially pay a larger deposit and finance so that you're balancing out, both of the risks between the interest rates, the utilization of the money, the future cash flow, all of those things, because you just don't know what's around the corner. Now, the only change in regards to tax implications is the interest. So the interest, if you borrow, there's going to be interest you can claim as an additional tax deduction. Whether or not you finance or pay it outright, you can still claim the depreciation. So depending on what the tax rates are and the rules at the time, because the government changes these all the time, you might be able to claim a little bit more upfront. So at the moment, if you're buying a car that's under $20,000, you can claim it all in the first year. If it's over $20,000, you have to depreciate at the rate of 25%. And that's accurate as at February 2025, but it could change. So as you can see, choosing whether to finance a car or pay cash for a car is not really a very complicated decision. But as always, probably best to seek advice from an accountant or finance broker to make sure that you're making the right decision relating to your individual circumstances, because it's never a one size fits all. If you've liked this video, make sure that you subscribe, make sure you give me a like and a comment. See you again soon.